For the British, this is a profoundly traumatic event. Every British politician who was involved with the American Revolutionary War loses political office in the aftermath of the American Revolution. The party, which has been in power under the king since the 1760s, is overturned and a new party comes into power, younger men who have a more detached outlook in the aftermath of this terrible defeat for the British Empire. The British have lost the most important, dynamic, rich terrain in their empire. This was the jewel in the imperial crown, and they have lost this territory, this wonderful resource. They will never again achieve the kind of hegemony in the world that they had at this time in the 18th century. Their colonies will, of course, be far-flung and important, but they will never again have this tremendous, rich resource. So for the British, there is a kind of nagging self-doubt that continues right through the early part of the 19th century. A whole generation lives with what we might call the American syndrome, this terrible legacy of defeat. For the Americans, the costs are different. One cost certainly is for the Loyalists, because the Americans do not respect the Loyalists' opinions or their property rights or their human rights. And there are many horrific examples of American violence, vigilante justice, expropriation that are visited on the Loyalists, many of whom go to Canada and to England to seek refuge, asylum from their former neighbors. The other costs, the Americans are no longer in an empire. They are now going to have to make their own way, and they are no longer granted automatic entree into the British trade, and this causes tremendous problems. The immediate aftermath of the American Revolution is a downturn in trade, which becomes an economic depression in the 1780s. There's tremendous economic distress as a result. Shays' Rebellion is just one example of the violent reactions and upheavals that occur because of all the economic distress that arises after the end of this British trade.